Alright. Yeah, I had to answer that phone call. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. We're live again. We're sorry about that. We're live again. Are we live again? We are live again. Sorry about that. We cool. We good. We good. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry. 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 We're good. We're good. I got a phone call. We're good. Yeah, edit that video and play it. I gotta delete it. Because it's not a fully fledged live stream and it's like someone called me. Is everyone doing? Everyone doing good? Everyone doing fantastic? I'm doing alright. I actually realized my team left. Okay, so low key here, low key. I'm like, dude, what's like? Okay, I know. I mean, like I'm usually like binge active and stuff like that, but like my team's not doing anything today. And then I look at the team chat. Everyone left. I was like, I just discussed this after work. I was like, whoa, everyone left. I was like, oh, we can't meet a word just until 10 p.m. this morning. Like, I actually found out after, like, I just got off work, so I went on Discord, and I got a message from Zeus, and everyone's going to different teams this race, and she's offered to find me a team, and I'm like, yes, thank you, Zeus, that's lovely, fantastic, thank you very much, I appreciate you. God bless you, Zeus. So, today's topic stream is pretty much, do I think this monster is awesome? Or do I think it's kind of meh? Do I think it's not good? I think, well, quick answer is yes. Absolutely 100% this monster's meta. Not just because it's a hard to get monster, but look at what he actually does. Actually consider the amount of stupid things he does. Like, he has removal of positive effects and then applies his stuff. He always removes things and then does it. So there's always a consequence. He's also a bully towards Mega Taunters. He bullies Isol, he bullies Dunra, he bullies Mephisto. He's more OP than Thalassa, to be honest. I heard they even nerfed Trait Disable now on her, so that might be the case. I wouldn't say he's tankier, though. I wouldn't say he's tankier in situations where you can't control everything. The man can be bullied. You may take him by the little stem of his head and then kind of beat him up if you get the opportunity to. Nox or Pumpseed? This is a good question because Nox has undeniable deny right now, but like the trait, in terms of traits, like Pumpseed's looking pretty spicy. Yeah, Pumpseed has like 4 or 5 traits. Unlike the other Warman, like, you know, most Warmasters only have like, you know, 3 unique things, right? The Pumpseed has like, what, 5? Doesn't he get like, he gets like, he's got Gravedigger, he's got area immune to insta-death, like everyone on your team cannot instantly die. He has area, you know, blind. He's got the skill class of blind. He has, what's the other one? I know he gets true vision at 5. Isn't there like a 4th rank? Like at rank 4, doesn't he get something else? I actually have the, I can pull this up on Discord here. Here, we'll pull it up on Discord. I actually have the thing up on Discord. Discord. Oh, it's this one. I think it was. Yep. Alright, so I actually have here's what he does right here. This is what he does. He's got Gravedigger plus area, insta-death. Yep, we said that. Rank 1, he gets tough. So that's 3 things right there. 3 things. Okay, you already reached your War Master, you know, thing right there with rank 1. He has 3 traits now. Rank 3, 4th trait, area minor blind. That only matters if you stack it, and if they're not running Mega Taunt, which everyone does run. That's kind of a dead trait. If it's a Mega Taunt situation or like area dodge team, kind of dead there. But still, that's good against everything else. It's still bullshit on everything else that's not running Mega Taunt or area dodge. Rank 5, it gets true vision. That's five. Like, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 traits. That's five. That's 5 traits on a single man. That's crazy. And true vision's not even a buff. That's not even a buff. That's permanent. This man gets permanent like true vision. This guy is awoken to the world at rank 5. Now rank 5, I don't know if it's realistic. That's a true thing. I don't know if rank 5 is realistic there. Can anyone even get him at rank 5? Do you think you guys think that's possible? Is that a possibility? There'll probably be an Christmas exclusive now. Just as OP as him, of course. Yeah. I don't know. He's got a lot of traits to the name. You realize the best monsters in this game are either those with stacked traits or stacked moves. You need to be the #1 team for rank 5. Oof. Duh. So whoever gets the rank 5 Pumpseed is gonna really be rolling in the coin, though. It's gonna be a really hard kind of thing there because he just kind of says no to Megataunt. You need to get them to rank 4 and then spend more on the chest. The chests are pretty questionable because it's only 25 a pop. It's kind of like spending an arm and you get like a finger or like a toenail. Yeah, pretty much. You give them an arm and they give you like a toenail in terms of cells. You give us a whole arm, so we'll give you like his toenail. It's 25 cells. Now you just need a bazillion more to make a whole man. Alright, let's talk about his moves. Okay, well actually let's go down the list here. So we just got done talking about trait. Pretty much rank 0 like helps him against the equal matchup. If you have Gravedigger, you can't be corrupted, it's the equal immunity. Tough at rank 1, you're less likely to get destroyed by DOTs. So that's pretty nice. Tough is like pretty much if it works wonders. If it doesn't, it doesn't do you any good. But it does do good when it does do good. Area, minor blind. This stacks well with things that do sunburn. Area sunburn like immediately like Dragar. That's a good monster. That's a good example. We don't have a monster that does area like. Can you pull up the wiki page instead? It looks more colorful. Is the wiki up? Is the wiki up? Here, let me see it. I think I just wait a second. Has been. No. Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but I like watching Has Been. Has Been Hotel's pretty good. I just got done watching that. It's beautiful. Wiki fandom. Okay. Monster Legends. Pumpseed. Lord Pumpseed. Fandom wiki. Did they update this? Oh, it does look prettier. It looks better, but like I miss the old one. Oh, this is a bunch of words. This looks prettier. Counters. Oh, it even says his counters. Hornet has team torture control immunity, which helps bypass everything Pumpseed does, except I've been waiting for Has-Been for more than half a year. Everyone has. Yeah, it's out now. The pilot's out. I wanted to learn more about it, so I wikied that. I wanted to know all the characters and all that stuff. I love Has-Been. It's beautiful. The story behind it is beautiful. The creator is really talented. Very nice person. But let's read it here. I'm just gonna turn off the comments just for a second. I'm turning off just for a second so I can read this. I want to see what the wiki says. So the wiki says, okay, so let's talk about origins here. Necromancer's plan backfired enormously, and the now super powerful Lord Pumpseed is roaming free, causing all sorts of havoc. He was supposed to be resurrected and then controlled, but thanks to Heyman's clumsiness. Well, dude, is Heyman's Necromancer's sidekick or something like that? Now Pumpseed is the most feared and fastest control monster ever. It's the fastest control monster? Really? That's the fastest one? I didn't know that. I don't know if there's a monster faster than that in terms of control, but interesting. Stamina removal in order to deal big damage. You relies on tortures like Burning Night and Nightmares. Scarier still, you can buff allies with double damage and extra turn, but with a 50% chance of being corrupted. You know what? A really nice monster against this, like a really good anti-monster. If you guys are having really hard trouble with Lord Pumpseed, I actually recommend you rank up your Babari. Babari is one of the War Masters who gives you, like, your whole team immune to control as a trait. Like, it's not like a buff, it's it's an actual trait. So if you run that monster, you just won't care about his DOTs. His main source of damage is his DOTs. So as long as you can't really DOT your team, But then you say, hey, Dib, what about, like, possession and stuff like that? Just run Necromancy with them. Here's what you do. Run Necromancer, run Babari, and then run, like, I want to say an extra turn monster. Or like a, Megaton monster. You probably run that. And you go from there. Because you have like a reviver to revive your Babari. You have a, Babari to give you immune to the DOTs. And then that third monster, obviously your Megatonter. They just don't give a shit about everything. Anything. It's lovely. It's lovely. But that's in terms of extremely high meta comps, Ragnarok's a thing. I'm always bothered by Ragnarok. Ragnarok is like that's like reset skill is just so dumb. I've always hated it. But anyway, back to this. I would say torture is torture immunity is pretty clutch in the matchup. He's just got so many tortures. He punishes you really hard. He also doesn't have area trait disable. I also want to note that he doesn't have area trait disable. He only traits disables a single guy. Kind of like Thetis. And that's actually really nice that it does, because it means it can go up against Wormlad decently. It's actually, you have no idea, okay, low key here, it's actually really annoying when you possess a Wormlad and it does nothing. Because when it, like, when you possess something, right? It usually does something well, since Wormlad has area dodge, and being the fact he only runs everyone's words. He only ever runs one single target skill. He'll always like recharge. I always find the fight, because if he ever like does the support skill or like the area skill, like any of those two area skills, he just doesn't do anything. Like let's say he still has like righteous evil or something like that, right? Like the area curse. He'll never do that. Why? Because he himself will just avoid it, because he treats like him not being able to hit like himself as like, oh, this doesn't do anything, I'm just gonna recharge. It always bothers me. That matchup always bothers, like whenever I corrupt a Wormlad or possess a Wormlad and he does nothing, it bothers me. It just doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything to help me win the situation. And in fact, it helps the enemy win, because he's not doing anything though. I need him to do things in order for me to win the fight if I'm banking on possession. Cons. Let's see what they said for cons real quick. You have to rank him up for the best trade and skills. True, he does. In my opinion, he needs to be at least ranked 2. Like, for sure, it needs to be. There's always, like, in terms of elite monsters, in terms of, like, ranking up moves, there's always that, mark, right, where it's usable. I think 2 is when he becomes usable. That's just because at 2, he cancels out the Mega Taunt play. Obviously, at rank 4, that's amazing. That's like hands down, like the best thing you can get it at, because he will also do it again. He can still shut down the Megaton play. Like at rank 2 and 4, he shut down the Megaton play. This is what it does. Best skills don't deal damage, stopping him from taking advantage of his good power stats. He has a good power stat. I didn't even know he had damage. Like, he's not a damage dealer. Cons, he doesn't do any damage. He's not a damage dealer, though. His whole damage is DOT. He doesn't need to do damage. Why is that a con? That isn't even what he's supposed to do. It's not his job. It's like going to like a job fair and you tell him like all this good stuff you do, and just because you don't do this one thing, like get this guy like a cup of coffee every morning and says like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I only can come in the afternoon. It's like spontaneously fired, no alternatives. And then this guy comes in with all this horrible stuff, but does the one thing the guy asks for, and it's like, this man's hired, perfect. And the guy's like, what the? I just lost a job because I wouldn't give you a cup of coffee at 8 o'clock in the morning. Craziness. Anywho, back to this. Impossible to get to rank 4 free to play, as you can't use elemental cells or elementium on him, and he will only be obtainable at marathon, so good luck getting his best trait and moves. This does actually bother a lot of people. A lot of people don't even, a lot of people, like, this is kind of why it's kind of a benchmark right now, because it's the line between free to play and paid to win. Like, not everyone that's free to play is going to have this monster extremely ranked up, and compared to other monsters that they will have ranked up all the way, because it's just ease of access. That's kind of why they're kind of nerfing the value of this monster. And I don't think that's, I don't want to say that's fair, because again, still, people will be getting this to at least rank 3 or 4. Because I've seen at least 50 laps, and for at least 50 laps, I do believe you get rank 2. And that's when, again, that's when he becomes usable. So, I don't know. Obviously, rank 4 is nice, but, like, 2 makes him usable. He just needs to cancel out the taunt play. The taunt play is just so annoying. It's one of the few, if not the first denier in the game that can, like, punish the play without being punished in turn. Because let's say, like, let's talk about, like, Kronks, right? Okay, so real quick, at rank 1, Kronks gets the 1 extra turn skill, the remove positive effects, and then apply stop time. This is heavily countered by Ragnarok. Ragnarok doesn't care if you go for that play, because if you go for that play, he'll just extra turn into... He gets an extra turn in, right? Because that itself is an extra turn. All he'll do is remove the stop time and give any ally an extra turn, or whatever he wants to do with it. I think in terms of live PvP, extra turn skills are kind of worthless, because it's just punishing. Like if you ever watched my armor, like, Div versus Armor gaming video, like, all I ever did when I ran, like, Gorg's extra turn skills, I just got punished for it. that's I could never go for the play, because all I do would get punished or just resets. It doesn't matter if I go for it. I just get punished for it. That's all it is. But, yeah, back to this. Yeah, so, like, high cooldowns and stamina costs. This actually doesn't matter. I don't think this actually matters. Look at the relics real quick. So for relics, this thing can hold the staff and the mask. If you wanted to, if you're really worried about stamina costs, you could go double relic recovery, run a legendary or, silver staff, the free-to-play stamina recovery staff, and or the recharging mask, and you're fine. The consequences isn't too bad, I don't think. So I don't think cooldowns and stamina costs are too big of a deal. Maybe cooldowns are, but, like, you could always run, like, Ragnarok. Yeah, you could always just toss in Ragnarok in there, and it's not a big deal. This, again, Ragnarok's skill is bullshit. Like, that's, like, the biggest reset skill in the game. It's so good because it literally resets everything. Your life, stamina, cooldowns. It's beautiful. The only thing it doesn't reset are your relics, which would be completely ludicrous if it did. 4-slot syndrome. Too many good moves to choose from. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a guaranteed consistent that you run with this thing. For sure. Because for sure, 2 of those skills you do run are the trait disabling skills. So like the other 2 are just alternatives, whatever you want as a player or just the situation. So that's not really a big deal. I think 4-slot move syndrome stopped being a thing when you had the ability to change your stuff for free. This isn't even a con. I don't think it is a con. Though it still bothers people. It doesn't mean slot syndrome doesn't bother people. It still does. I'm just saying it's not a con. Recommended moveset: Sons of Riches, Fear itself, Insta Death plus area single AoE cooldown and bleed. Interesting. Trait disable, yeah. So basically you run both trait disables, the cooldown's active. You run 2. Apparently there's 2. So interesting. His better brother or corruption, stamina drains, and cooldowns activate. So cool. Yo, where's my boy Ugluk real quick? Where's my boy Ugluk? No one's even mentioning Ugluk right now. Where's Ugluk? Cool. No one's mentioning Ugluk. Where's my boy Ugluk? My boy Ugluk would be good here. There's no effect on him. His cooldown stamina, 70 damage, and would wipe out Pumpseed. If you do actually run into a 130 Hakuai or Ugluk, you are in trouble. The damage they actually do is just job dropping. They will destroy your day. It's phenomenal how much damage they actually do. Hornet has team torture and control immunity. He also has positive effect protection. I want to also add that to the little list here that they didn't add that. So he can actually keep, if the Hornet is faster than the enemy Pumpseed, he can actually keep the Pumpseed from actually removing the Megaton. So if you have the faster Hornet, you actually can make sure the Easel keeps its Megaton. Like that's a for sure thing you could do. This play is countered, of course, by a fast Wormlad. If they are running full speed Wormlad, all you really have to do is double remove. Like, even if that Hornet goes first, if your Wormlad goes immediately after, he just removes it. That's easy, and then you can do whatever you want from there. So that's not a big deal either. Area dodge also dodges Pumpseed's cooldown since it's always an AoE. Megaton monsters can allow your team to be protected and take out Pumpseed before he controls your team. No, that's in terms of a ranked up one. No, that's, I don't want to say that's the case. That's not the case. I don't know when he's ranked up. That's the whole point of ranking him up. 2 and 4 counter it. 2 and 4 counters Megaton play. Trait disables like Angelica and Madame Fusion can easily disable Pumpseed's amazing trait. Other monsters can also do this. I also want to add Talos to the list, even though Talos has high cooldowns. Again, if you protect his said cooldowns, no, it's not too biggie for him. Talos isn't meta though, but that's just another good example that counters him because Talos himself is unaffected by DOT. He's unaffected by DOT unless he is actually focused down with trait disable. Then, yeah. And cooldowns too. You have to also worry about cooldowns. Trait disable and cooldowns. But for the most part, if he's kept all right, he can deal with Pumpseed. He also is unaffected by that 3-turn insta-death. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to turn on the chat again. Sorry for having that off. Boom. Cons on the wiki, though. I'm pretty sure they put Hakai there because it skills water-based, meaning go destroy Pumpseed. Yeah, they did. I'm not just realizing that. I totally did. They totally did, dude. Just because it's a water-based. Ugluk, dude, Ugluk didn't get any love there. Ugluk was ignored. So back into the moves now. What do you get if it's, let's talk about plain fish Pumpseed real quick. Since, Owuku is just, the ultimate counter for Pumpseed. Let's just call this, let's talk about plain fish Pumpseed, right, real quick. So plain fish Pumpseed gets air rank 1, not rank 1 in terms of tier 0, like we're going to talk about just tier 1 through 3. Let's say in a weird world, everyone was only able to get this at like 0. So 15 laps. At 0, you get spooky fish. Ooh. He has heavy fire damage to one enemy, applies burn and ignite to one enemy. This is really nice. Now, if you actually run Mephisto, you realize this skill is amazing. You gotta love this skill. Like, you just have to. Burn and ignite on one skill is amazingly good. It's so good to double DOT, hardcore DOT, mind you. Like, burn and ignite's a big deal. And given this thing's alright power stat, given the 50 damage, it's pretty nice. Pretty spicy. So that's pretty good. I'm going to put that in the nice corner. So, 0.1, nice. Nightmare of Floaty Islands, special damage to all enemies, 35 weak nightmares, now we're talking about. Not spicy enough. Though it's on a 1-turn cooldown, it's pretty consistent damage. Let's say you wanted to go for a troll build, this wouldn't be bad. Consistent damage. If you ever played monsters with 1-turn cooldown AoEs, this is fun to do. Like, 1-turn cooldown AoEs is nice to play around with. Not practical in high-tier competitive play, but still nice. Removes positive effects, applies burn, and applies burn to one enemy. Applies burn to one enemy. So this guarantees burn. Okay, so basically, you are guaranteed to burn anything you hit with this. Like, as long as you're not totally blind. Craziness. You can spam it. That's adorable. I gotta say, that's pretty adorable. No, that's straight up, that's adorable. We're gonna put that on the adorable team side of things. That's adorable. That's the adorable move. That's his cute move. War and pieces. That gets an adorable star from me. Dry hard. Yeah, you dry hard. You dry hard. Dude, this actually kind of is poetic to the race. Everyone's dry hard to get this monster. Everyone is dry hard. Live free or dry hard. Live free or dry hard. Dude, I'm naming mine live free or try hard. Like if I get one, I have to name him live free or try hard. This supplies burn and ignite to all. It's even a double AoE ignite and burn. You're kidding. Oh, I gotta run this skill. It's gonna be on all my move sets. I don't care, even if it's not meta. It's beautiful. I'm running this skill. I'm using this skill on all my builds. Everyone must run dry hard and name this man either Bruce Willis or like the movie Live Free or Dry Hard. That's the girl. You have to name this man Bruce Willis or Dry Hard. Live Free or Dry Hard. That's the rule. Are you even getting him? Possibly. I'm not for sure yet. It's depending on if Zeus finds me a team. I don't have a race team at the moment. Master and Cadaver. Removes 30% stamina, applies nightmares, applies stamina leak. So it's kind of like a drain. It's alright. Removes 100% danger things. Removes 100% stamina, burn, and ignite to one enemy. This is a big deal to Megaton tanks because it's kind of a bully skill. I don't think the only one that doesn't care about this is Dunra. Dunra has a 0 stamina costing Megaton, I believe. So she won't care if this was applied to her. It matters to everyone else though. Everyone else gets dicked by this. Yusho out the window gets destroyed by it. Clipion doesn't like it. Carl doesn't like it. None of the other Megatons like their stamina completely drained and it being lit on fire and ignite. I also like to add Mephisto to the list. Mephisto will also not care if it gets hit with danger things. It gives 0 cares. It's immune to burning and ignite. So it just doesn't. I think that it is. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. I think it was immune to burning at least. I don't know. I have to look at it again. Here comes Treble. Applies mega corruption to one enemy. Applies double damage and ignite to one enemy. So I never really mentioned this before the beginning of the stream, but I think this is like improved Glitch. If you guys don't remember who Glitch was, it was a dark monster that first brought out corruption. And I like to always think that this is just a better Glitch because it has guaranteed on not only all of its DOTs, like it's just got a whole bunch of for sure really good DOTs. It's not like random status effects. But it also does corruption with class and style because it also does more before applying the corruption. And it even can mega corrupt. So it always does pluses. I always like to think this is a plus Glitch. A lot of people have the entitlement to say that it's not like Glitch, but I look at the Glitch and then look back at this thing. I kind of see some similarities. I just think it's a better Glitch. It also has cooldowns activate, which is really nice. It's beautiful. It also sets everyone on fire. Bad dream house. That would be a very bad house to live in. He has an amazing design and I want him. Yep. It's a really cool looking monster. So he has an area, cooldowns activate, and insta 3 death. So kind of like at 100, he's kind of like a Pumpseed. It's kind of looking like that but with DOTs, it's strapped onto him. It's looking like a little bit of Pumpseed, a little bit of Glitch, with like for sure good DOTs. At 100, that's kind of what he is, which is kind of neat and cool. I think the area insta-death is relevant to newer monsters, especially damage dealers. Because we got like a magic monster recently that got insta-death on her ultimate. So guaranteed kill. Oh, I had an M&M wrapper in my pocket this whole time. Dude, that's random, but like it relates to, I guess, Halloween. Let's talk about the tier 1 skills. I guess we could talk about tier 1 stuff real quick. Feared Stealth, cooldowns activate with insta death, plus it makes everyone bleed. I don't know how many people will be running this, but being the fact it is a single turn, it's one hit enemy. I think that's practical. You added the Eminem the rapper, Eminem rapper, Eminem the rapper. No, I had like the a peanut M&Ms. The honking. This is the play. This is the why I think he's good. Starts becoming good. The honking is the anti-mega taunt and trait disabling skill. I think this is just kind of a situation where at rank 2 you run him with more than one denier. You have him go first and then the other denier second. This actually is dependent on what the enemy's running for a denier. So if it's faster than Pumpseed, that is kind of problematic because the whole point of this play is have Pumpseed go first, remove into better play like Kronks, for example. I find Kronks kind of like, in terms of meta comps, like it's hard for her to do her big thing when it's all being absorbed to one monster. But if you take away the enemy's mega taunt, then you can go for, your big deny play and stop time the enemy Ragnarok for 10 years or turn him into a little bitty baby. Does anyone know real quick, if you turn a Megaton monster into a baby, do they still get their taunt up? Is that still a thing? I actually don't know if that's a thing or not. Let me know. I don't know if baby cancels out like traits. I just know you can't target people when they're a baby. Ghost Carnival is the AoE version of. Basically, it's also an anti-Megaton skill. It just doesn't remove traits. Sons of Witches also the same kind of deal, but it doesn't remove traits. Overall, I think, again, really nice. It's just really anti-meta to taunts. Everyone's using it. At least every meta team should be at least running a mega taunt monster. That's fact. That's sheer fact that every meta team right now, in some form or way, is running a taunt monster. It's just what they do. It's just a good anti-meta thing to do, because if you run like a Ragnarok and a mega taunt or a taunt monster, if they go for like trait disable, they'll just remove it with either Ragnarok or Wormlad, or they go with a, say, area control. Again, area control, Wormlad cleans it, and it's like, no, taunt is just disabled. Well, no, I'm just saying in terms of what people are running. Yeah, like, it's kind of what people are doing. But, like, yeah, this monster is meta because of that. A lot of people are debating whether or not this thing is meta, but it is. It just, the skills are good. The skills should be considered meta. The only question at this point is just because of access. Yeah, I think it's more so access than what he actually does. In terms of an access thing, most people might not even get this to 3. If anything, it is 3. That's when he gets area blind. He doesn't get true vision until 5. So you have to be really good in the race to get 5. And that's, I mean, like, it's, on the race thing, it's like 4. But, like, you have to do really good to get 5. And apparently the team who does the best gets him at 5. So right now it's looking like 4 is the most possible, and nothing's at 4 after 3. So you have to get him to 5 for the true vision. To be fair, you might not even need it. This is a weird thing to say, but given the fact what we have available to us, especially with like Charizard, that can fill in the blank, I don't think he needs to be 5, because you could always run him with Charizard if you wanted to. Though that's not too optimal of an option, because then you suffer from getting hit by other, I guess, Lord Pumpseeds. I don't know. It's kind of an iffy thing to do. But no, I think you could always either fill in the blank or run things that give you precision, or in a way like again Wormlad's area cleanse gives precision, so it's not too big of a deal. It's nice to have, but like it's only relevant to the situations where you absolutely need it, like you have blind on you or something, and you don't have anyone to fix up your boo boo. Given the fact he can hold a mask, I find this actually busted. Because it's just like the same situation with Zyron. Zyron was also able to hold a mask and a staff, I do believe, and it's actually pretty busted. The monster never really dies, and it always has like a stamina recovery option. I find this really dumb. It's actually really dumb that they gave this thing a mask as one of its hold items, because it just means it's never gonna die. Anything that can hold healing mask or a tenacity mask is done. Man, I wish I could get Heyman 2.0 to rank 5. Right. That's everyone's dream right now, is to get Heyman 2.0 to rank 5. At our 100, I think what I would run, it would be Dry Hard, Danger Things for those taunt matchups that don't run the Dunra. I'd run Bad Dream House as the cooldown's active, and I'd probably take Here Comes the Terrible. I don't know, you're probably asking, wait, the Iron Tick and Reaper Madness. Well, Reaper Madness takes 3 turns to do. It's not going to stay on for 3 turns. I've never seen Instant Death stay on for 3 turns unless I'm running cooldowns. Which I actually do have. That's actually not bad. I might actually run that. How's AG doing? We're actually spread out right now for this race. So we're not doing pretty good. It's not too good. So maybe I would run that Bad Dream House, Reaper Madness. Probably Danger Things. I feel like it'd be stronger in meta. And then, you gotta run Dry Hard, my boys. You have to. That's the number 1 rule. You have to run Dry Hard. Regardless of the build, you have to. It's just a beautiful named move. It's his best arsenal move. Why would you not want to kill someone with Dry Hard? With a Dry Hard. That's such a ridiculous skill name. I love the people behind naming these skills. They're almost as good as me with naming monsters. Oh my god. Beautiful. Will all 4 skill groups, 4 skills always be set up for a rank 4? Yeah. That seems like the universal thing. That seems what everyone's kind of leaning towards. There might be some with Bad Dream House though, because cooldown's active is pretty strong. There might be some sets that run cooldowns active, because keep in mind, other people are also going to be running this monster. So having cooldowns active is actually pretty must if you think about it. You need to shut down their skills. Because if they're running, like, they're also running Pumpseed, you can't corrupt them. You have to trait disable them first. It's the Great Pumpkin Pandakin. For whatever reason, Pandakin's a pumpkin. Applies Mega Corruption to all enemies, and then restores all cooldowns. And restores all cooldowns on all enemies. That's a typo, right? Yeah, it's a leader monster. Is there any particular reason? Oh, okay. I thought this was a typo. No, this is legit. Okay, so applies Mega Corruptions to all enemies, restores all the cooldowns on all enemies. So you have to actually hit them with this, or else it's like a big deal. This move can, okay, it's low key. This move can actually dick you, like low key, like really low key, because I don't think they took in consideration Megaton. This should have been pierced to make this like non like bad for you. This can very easily be bad for you, like essentially. Because if you restore all the cooldowns, right? Does this not miss then? Like to say if you're on Wormlad, does Wormlad still get his cooldowns reset? Like that's a huge concern. That is something I'm concerned with. Like no, that's why they have it there. Because whenever you possess something, let's say they do like a really good move, well you want them to do that good move. Boom, you restore all their cooldowns. I don't know in what perfect world they'll do the move you want to do because whenever you possess something, they never do the thing you want to do anyway. But it's pretty cool. It also does ignite. Is there anything else I want to talk about in terms of this stream? I guess matchups. You can rerun in Spirits, Evil Legions, Underworld, and Exclusives. So let's pull those out real quick. I want to see his horrible matchups. But yeah, Pumpseed's elite. What are your bad matchups, my boy? So he's ran in spirit. Oh, he's a spirit monster. No, no. Oh, why are all the good monsters in spirit? Social Point, stop making all the good monsters spirit monsters. No, no, it's a spirit monster. Soul Huggers. No. No, Soul Hugger and Shade Moon and oh, no, no. Why do they make all the good monsters as spirits? Why? Stop making spirit monsters so good. They have so many anti-spirit monsters in this game. Stop making these monsters spirit. They get punished for it. Stop. There's so many good spirit monsters. Stop making good spirit monsters. That's all this looking game is. There's too many. Oh my god. Oh, there's too many monsters. There's too many. Okay, so if you want to kill Pumpseed right away, run Spirit. Spirit Hater. Go. It's anti-meta. Underworld monsters. Anything that's anti-possession. Well, Kane's always a nice beater. I'd say Kane's up there. Kane does a lot of damage. Kane doesn't care about possession, and he can win off bleed. Gravedigger doesn't give you bleed immunity. If it was Abomination, whole different story. Completely different story, but no, he got nerfed Abomination, so Kane can check him out pretty good. This might be a strange one, but triple damage on Acrylic, in terms of when I ever use him, it lands pretty consistently. So that's a good one shot. You really want to Oko Pumpseed. That's kind of the main deal, because his relics are bullshit. Like Healing Mask, again, Healing Mask, Nasty Mask. It's guaranteed to live if you don't kill it right away. For sure, it'll just be there. You have to Oko him, or else he's there for several turns. That's the rule with Pumpseed. Whenever you have to run whenever you can run a mask, you have to Oko him. That's just how the rule goes. Because they'll always survive a hit if they don't, and then they get revived all their life. That's how masks work. You either kill them immediately or you take 10 years to kill it. Mephisto is relatively nice in the situation. Is he immune to Demon skill? Okay, so yeah, he has Demon, so he's immune to Ignite too. So that's a counter. Is it a permanent counter? At some point, no. Because you can remove it. It depends if you have Hornet, I guess. If you have Hornet, it's a for sure counter, but like for the most part though, it should be like Pumpseed should be able to deal with it at rank 4 for sure. Consistently. Anything else in Underworld that can beat a Pumpseed? What does Norak do again? Dissipation, stun immunity. I think his moves are bad though. The nice thing about Pumpseed, even though This is a weird thing to say it's a nice thing of, but it is really convenient in later play. You'll realize that it's just a bad habit or just not a good thing to go for. None of its skills are extra turn skills. So Ragnarok never gets any goodies out of it. You want to give Ragnarok as few turns as possible to destroy you. And it having like literally no extra turn skills is pretty great. Like all the meta skills are non-extra turn skills. So it just doesn't care about anticipation because it's not running any extra turn skills. Um I want to say Lighterium's pretty weak in the matchup. Even though it has like cleansing skills, it can't control Pumpseed, and Pumpseed just seems to control everything. I don't even think it's immune to possession, right? Yep, not even immune to possession, so that's a weak matchup. Pierceid's solid. I will say Pierceid's a pretty solid matchup. She does cooldowns. She's basically free to play Lord Pumpseed, to be honest, without the trait disable. But, yeah. Well, I guess I don't want to say free to play. She was a quest monster. But you could also have the entitlement of getting her for free. But realistically, she'd spend at least $5. So nothing, in terms of Underworld, yeah. I think it's an undead monster too, right? No, it was like Evil Legions, yeah. There's too many Evil Legions monsters. In terms of Evil Legion mounts set up here, Hakuai, Ragnarok, Gorg. Dude, I think Gorg works wonders in the fight. Why doesn't Gorg carry? He's got area stun. Precision plus area stun, water-based skill. Boom! Beautiful counter pick. Just like the only main worry at that point is the speed difference. But let's say your Gorg goes like after Pumpseed and you have another monster to follow up on the play. Extra turn, remove, or like you just go straight for the stun into your deny play. Nice. Gorg has always been nice because he removes positive effects with everything he does. It's beautiful. So Gorg and Hukuai for sure. Nice complementary counters. I think Kane's on here, right? Is Kane on here again? Nope. Do I think Steak's a good matchup? I want to say yes if he does the extra turn while being corrupted. Because he actually cleans himself. So I want to say yeah, it's a possibility. That Steak might be a nice for the matchup. I think exclusive monsters or elite monster. No, it's not exclusive. It's not elite. Oh, it's not actually an elite monster. It's not considered elite. It's just considered exclusive. I think this monster is really good and exclusive because we're Ragnarok and Thalassa and Babari. And I guess Zara too. Necromancer with specific comps. Those are all good counters. Zara increases your base life also having like torture immunities at the beginning of the game, but it's a buff, not a trait, which makes Babari's trait better because it gives you it for sure, and you can just run things that increase your base life anyway. But that's essentially it. I think War Masters still kind of stand up a chance to deal with Pumpseed. Babari doesn't. I do believe Babari doesn't run any like CD heavy skills. Like he has. Oh, maybe he does actually. I think that he had no stamina cost really, but his cooldowns were high. I think he has a spammable skill. Oh, that's what it was. He had a really strong spammable skill, but like it costs a lot of stamina. I think that was the con of it. But yeah, that's genuinely it. That's everything I want to talk about with Pumpseed. Overall, again, final thoughts. I want to say it's really good. Like when it's good, it's really good. I'd say when you bring it to a poor matchup, it is just a poor matchup. But I think it has very few poor matchups because it's a new monster with very good capabilities in terms of trait disabling into like play. You don't understand how great that is to actually be able to disable mega taunt and then go into a deny play, especially if they're not running double area dodge. Yeah, I think that's what just one of his hard counters is just running double area dodge taunt. Yeah, those are the things he suffers with. Like that's the only comp that really makes him suffer. If we're talking like a basic normal comp of Mega Taunt, Ragnarok, Wormlad, or Area Dodge Monster, it's meant to counter the play because a lot of the reason why that play is so good, the reason why the play is so good is again, it takes a turn to deny the elite monster, the Mega Taunt monster. And then you have to deny Ragnarok at some form of capacity, or else Ragnarok will just go for a full life reset on any of the monsters into whatever play he wants to do after that, or whatever the monster he chooses to do after that. So that could range from either area curse, area possession. If you're running an Easel, that it just does any of those things. So it really hard counters initial play. Initial play is such a big deal, and a lot of things right now just counter it. And having like a deny monster deny like hard like initial counter play, because that's what this whole year's been about is just like hardcore nerfing initial plays. That's why speed is getting nerfed really hard with all these like opening play downs. Megaton just denies you to do really aggressive plays, and to have a denier for once to have like a trait disable or remove positive effects and then do the play is a big deal. That is such a huge deal in this game, and it's the monster that does it first. Like besides the Lasha, like it's the first denier that's able to do like their plays without caring, like at all. It's amazing. Like in terms of like an area skill, not in terms of like single target skills, because we've had monsters in the past that single target remove positive effects, and then you could do a big area deny play, right? Like we just had a monster named Kronks that did exactly that. But this monster does an area control, and sometimes that actually does matter in situations where they're running Ragnarok. And you have like True Vision on. You're guaranteed to possess that Ragnarok. You have no idea the value of controlling a Ragnarok is. Because Ragnarok has full control of a game at all times. Because it's such a wild card. It can do so many different things. From healing the enemy team. Or, your team, I mean. To reviving. To area control the enemy team. It just has access to a lot of goodies. And when you have Ragnarok, you have access to those goodies now. So you have double buffs. Basically, double buffs or double control or just a free recovery play that you didn't need to do anything for. So that's pretty huge. That's a big deal. You have so much freedom at that point once you have Ragnarok under control. I also believe, though, that it's dependent on if that Wormlad goes first. Because you can't control Wormlad. I think that's a big deal. Because I'm thinking meta fights. So basically, the one thing that you'll never control is that Hornet and Wormlad, right? Or like, yeah. I think that's when you just run another full speed monster. Because a lot of the times, you'll see a lot of the Pumpseed fights being full speed monsters. I don't think there'll ever be a Pumpseed team where you're running a tank. Because it's going for full aggression. You want full, like 100% aggression when you use Pumpseed. Because your opening play will always be remove positive effects, remove that Mega Taunt, and then your other monsters can finally go and do some, major big plays or follow-ups to that initial removal plus control. But yeah, that's all I have to really say about it. Yeah, I think it's more so. I think it's more so just the availability rather than what he actually does. I think that's what people are ranking him by right now, because everyone can get Thalassa for basically free with like just investing in these stones every day, getting the 20 purchase twice. Speaking of which, let's get some more of those. Just invest in those, and then you'll have Thalassa done. over a monster that you might just get this outrank 1 or 2. That's kind of a big discussion right now. That's it for this video. For real this time, that's it. That's all my opinions. That's all my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below if this helped you and if it didn't help you. And if you would like some advice or, just kind of more inputs, I'd love to answer it. I have time to answer it. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was fun. I had a lot of fun talking about this monster. I hope you did too. I'm Dib the Awesome, and I'll catch you guys later.